Hello, hello, Rebecca Magic at your service. It's a beautiful evening. I'm going to start off by giving you a view from my window. Okay, so I wanted to talk about a very important topic tonight. And this topic came up a couple times in conversation yesterday, and I think it comes up often on all of our paths. So a lot of us are on a path to self-improvement, self-mastery, and that path is never ending because we are always evolving, situations are always changing, circumstances are always changing, and so this is something that we need to consider over and over again on this path. When we begin to shift, when our vibration shifts, when we become a better person, right? Because that's the goal. So if we're achieving that goal, then that's what's happening. We're becoming a better person because that's what we're after. So when we're becoming this better person, it's really frustrating, right? When somebody or something of your past tries to suck you back in. Like you've made a change and there's someone in your past who someone from your past who's saying, oh, well, this new you isn't really you. You're all those things that I remember about you. And you're like, no, I worked so hard to let that go. You're not going to ruin this for me. Or, you say whatever you say to them to try to prove your new self to them. This is a waste of our energy right away. Because this is causing resistance. You don't need to prove anything. All you need to do is just be yourself, whomever you are in that moment. But as long as it's authentic, right? Because you can't hide from the truth. Everyone can feel this truth because truth emanates from us. Whatever we are, whatever we authentically are, is revealed within our aura. So on some level, in some dimension, it's going to be there. It's going to be either completely transparent and somebody's going to see it with their physical human eyes, or they're going to feel it on some ethereal level, on some energetic level. So be real. You don't need to prove yourself to anybody. You don't need to fight with someone about, no, this is who I am now. I'm not who you think I am or who I used to be. So right off the bat, no need to argue or prove. Just continue to be yourself. Another thing is, a lot of people in the spiritual community or in a community of, where the goal is self-improvement, self-mastery, self-realization, we practice these changes that we've made in ourselves, or we practice these realizations we've had with people we've never met before. And it makes sense because as you shift your vibration, you're going to begin to attract new people. So they're kind of like your new experiment zones, your testing zone for trying out these new concepts that you're realizing that you're coming across. And that's great. That's awesome. These are all good opportunities to express the new you and build from there. But that's the easy work. It's easy to practice being the new you when you're in a new environment or you're speaking with new people because why? There are less cords, there are less attachments, there are less preconceived ideas being projected onto you. So while this work is, its own type of rewarding work, we cannot forget about the people right at home. Our loved ones, the people we're the most close with, the people that we do have many cords to, the people that we do have these attachments to. If your goal is really to shift and really to go from A to Z, from one side to the next, it's really about the journey to getting there. Because if it's just, if it's just easy work, what is the value in that? It's where the challenge is that the opportunities for true growth really lies. So, for example, if, you're out with some new friends and you're being the new you, they don't know who the old you was. They're not going to have some old idea about you. They're not going to say, hey, weren't you an alcoholic? Aren't you still an alcoholic? Or you remember that time that you did blah, 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 blah? Or how's your relationship with your mom? Is that still shitty? No one's going to have these ideas about you. So you have this open space to just be yourself, whoever you choose to be in that moment. And that's great. Like I said, that's great. But then you go back home and you do have a lot of that around you. You have, you know, your little sister who remembers all of your experiences. She remembers the time you peed in your pants when you were 7. You know, she holds that against you, amongst other things. Or you have your husband or your wife and you have issues with them. And you really want to practice being the new you, but it's hard, it's difficult. And that's good. Because the more the challenge, the more triggers come up. And in a previous video, I explained how triggers are our friends. Triggers are awesome. We shouldn't be afraid of them because triggers point to those things that are buried deep within that need healing. So the more triggers, the better. The more triggers, the more opportunities for healing, the more work there is to do there, which means the more rewards when you really come through on the other side. So it's great to practice being your new self everywhere and anywhere. Be yourself, whoever that is, authentically so. But you cannot think that you're going to attract peace and goodness and more love into your life if you are not practicing this new self, being this new self. If you're not practicing keeping your heart open in those relationships that need it the most, which are the ones right at home. Your husband, your wife, your friends that you've had for years, that is where we have the most challenges. So when you can really practice being this new self, when you can stand your ground and say, no, you know what? This trigger is coming up, but I'm going to choose to respond differently. And when you choose to respond differently, that is what creates the shift. Can you see now why there will be more of those opportunities to be triggered in relationships where we have more attachments and cords, as opposed to, you know, just practicing being who you want to be to a bunch of people that never knew you anyway? The work really lies in those relationships where we have the most triggers and the most cords. Don't neglect those. That is where all the gifts are buried. That's where all the treasures are buried. And the thing is, if you don't do this, if you only, if you shift and then you only bring those new realizations and that new self into new relationships, you're going to burn some bridges. Chances are you're going to end many relationships on not such a good note. And that doesn't just go away. On an energetic level, that's going to stay there within you until you heal that. So more relationships are going to come up to show you those lessons that you did not learn. Your growth and this new self is not going to be as strong. It's almost like you're a baby all over again and learning how to walk, right? Because you're this new self, you're reborn. And if you just, do light work, you're not really strengthening yourself as fast as you could be or as powerfully as you could be by accessing those opportunities that lie within those challenges with the people around us who we have the most cords with. So sure, you can go off and practice being your new self out in the world, but what can you say about the people at home? What can you say about your mom, about your dad, about your wife, about your husband? Are you being that new self? Yes, it's hard. It's super uncomfortable because you're around those people and your mom wants to say, this is not you. This is a phase. This organic thing. What is this organic food? What is this spirituality? This must be a phase. Don't fight her. You're going to waste all your energy. You're going to burn out. It's not a phase. No, this is silly. Just continue to be yourself, but don't hide from her. Don't try to hide it. First of all, that's probably an awesome example. If you're authentically making these changes to better yourself, show that. Show that. But don't react when they don't believe that that's you. In fact, it's almost like we kind of expect it. Like, of course, you're changing into a totally different person. You're going to receive some resistance or some confusion. So, and I don't want to say really expect that because you don't want to solidify that. You don't want to cause more friction by holding that image in your mind's eye of this resistance from the people around you. But just know that when we become something new, when we shift, of course, those around us who are used to a certain version of us might find that a little interesting. Might find it to be something to have to adjust to. But you don't have to worry about that. Just be yourself. If you're authentically making changes to better yourself, then you are a good example, so shine that forth. But don't hide. Don't resist. Okay, it's really important. This is a really important thing because then our loved ones around us, then they'll be even more confused. They're going to be like, oh my God, is Johnny on drugs? Because he's acting really different and he's not open about it. He's not explaining himself to me. And then they start to make assumptions, and that is not good. You don't want people making assumptions. First of all, I don't know who's ever read the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. A really important truth in this, in this belief system that we're trying to program into our subconscious mind in order to have this self-improvement, in order to go deeper with this self-mastery process. A big part of the foundation of the system is understanding that we should not make assumptions. So if you want to help yourself and others around you to not make assumptions, communicate. Communication is key. So don't hide. Communicate with your loved ones. Communicate with the people around you, especially while you're going through a shift. If it's authentic, if it's good, if it's a positive thing and you know you're doing it for your healing, then what do you have to hide? Push past the discomfort. If you know in your heart it's for the highest good of everything as one, then what do you have to be worried about? If you really know this, then you have everything you need within you to push past whatever the uncomfortable feelings are. Oh, they're not used to me in this new light. I feel vulnerable. I'm usually all sarcastic and cool, but now I want to be softer and I want to speak with more kindness, and I don't want to be looked at as, as a wimp or as a this or as that. Just cut out the I don't want. Cut out the I'm scared. Cut out all these fearful thoughts or doubtful thoughts and only focus on the image of the new you. Hold that image in your mind's eye and in your heart and repeat affirmations to yourself. I am doing this because it's for the greatest good. Not just for me, but for everything, for everybody as one. It's really important to remember our whys. Why are we doing this? That is your motivation. Remind yourself, this is a righteous effort. I am on a righteous path. I'm doing this for the highest good. You say these things over and over as often as you have to until it sinks in and you program that confidence into your subconscious mind so that it becomes effortless. Tell yourself, look at yourself in the mirror, I'm doing this because it is for the highest good. And then once that really sinks in and you know that, you can move forward with confidence, and all those thoughts of how will I look, or I don't want this, or I don't want that, all that will fade away. Because first of all, a child can understand that whatever thoughts we have in our mind's eye consistently, whatever thoughts we're holding, whatever thoughts we're giving our power to, our energy, our feelings, those are going to manifest. So right then and there, it's illogical. We see it as illogical to think a thought such as, I don't want to look this way, or I don't want this, or I don't want that. Why are you seeing what you don't want? It's illogical. It's nonsensical. Let it go. Only see that which you do desire to manifest, which is that image of who you really want to be and who you truly are, your authentic self. Hold that image in your mind's eye. It's precious. Give it love. Give it all your energy. Because if that's truly what you're wanting, nurture that. That's what you should be nurturing. That's what you should be seeing. That's what you should be feeling. That's what you should be holding in your head and in your heart. So then when you are around these people, like your family or your friends that you have all these cords to, you feel confident. You walk into the room, you walk into these situations, you walk into their presence with a sense of confidence in your plan and with your intentions clear in your mind's eye. No, I need to do this because I want to see a shift in my reality. I want to manifest a shift in my reality, therefore I need to shift my response. This is the only way. And like I said, this is the best way to access these opportunities over and over to shift your response. If you go out into the world and you practice this with new people, like I said, there aren't going to be those challenges, which are really the gifts. The challenges are the opportunities for you to respond in a different way. You want your triggers to come up. You want to be provoked in a way. Because where's the value in the easy stuff? No. Welcome the challenges. You asked for that, in fact. First of all, anything that's coming at us, we asked for in one form or another. This is natural law. But you especially ask for the challenges. Remember this. Your soul asks for these challenges because your soul, your highest self, knows that within these challenges are the opportunities for you to show up, for you to become present, for you to use those triggers to say, oh, here it is, my opportunity to be more aware, my opportunity to shift my response, which is what? Your opportunity to shift your reality. You're asking for it, right? We say, oh God, I really need a change. I really want a big change in my reality. I really want to see this shift, or I want to see that shift. I want to see my relationship shift. I want to be a better person. I want my heart to expand. I want other people to see me in this certain way. Well, if you haven't been seen that way before, or you haven't been feeling that way before, then obviously what you're doing hasn't been working, and so you need to shift your response. And so your highest self says, hey, universe, can you bring some opportunities my way so that I can practice that? And also, can you please remember to give me these triggers so that I can be triggered back into my presence to show up for these opportunities? Don't be scared of the work. Don't be scared of the challenges. You have nothing to lose. So what, you get in a little argument? Don't even think of that. You know what's going to bring you arguments? Not communicating. Lack of communication. That's going to bring a whole lot of arguments and a lot of resistance, a lot of confusion, a lot of assumptions, a lot of taking things personally. That's what's going to bring more and more and more negativity and arguments and disconnection. So remember, your higher self has asked for these opportunities, and that's why they're manifesting, they're showing up. So yeah, accept the challenge that you asked for. And stand empowered in your confidence, in your clarity of intention. Oh, okay, here it is. Here's the challenge. I know what this is. This is the universe bringing me the opportunity to shift my response. Okay, I'm here. I'm present. I know what's happening. I'm not going to fall for the trick. I'm going to pass this test, and there is a great gift waiting for me. And if I can just be strong through this moment, and I know I can because I have all the tools I need right here within me right now. If I could just be strong and get through this, my reality will begin to manifest in an entirely different way. I'll begin to attract those things that I truly want to attract. I'll begin to be those things that I've truly been wanting to be but haven't been able to be because my responses weren't getting me there. So yes, let go of the old you, the you don't want to be. Let it go. And if there is anyone around you who wants to hold on to that old you, or is a little confused by the new you, or tries to tell you who you are, just peacefully and calmly continue on being your authentic self. Communicate. Keep the communication open. Keep the communication open. There is no reason you should not continue to be the you that you truly want to be, the most authentic version of you. You have nothing to fear. You have nothing to fear. But you must continue to be this new you, not only around those people who it's easy to be the new you because there are no triggers. That's great, but the value is not there in that work. It's not really work. Be that you consistently. If that's really who you want to be, you have to be that you all the time. You have to be that you around the new people and around the old people that do have all those cords and attachments. You have to be this new you around your friends, your boss, your teacher, your mother, your sister, your brother, your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, your dog. When you're alone by yourself, that is who you should be, because if that's really who you want to be, then why are you not being that person consistently all the time around everybody? There's no excuse. Oh, but it's uncomfortable because this person's not used to me in this way. Oh, so you should just not be yourself? So you should just continue to be this old yucky version of you that you really have worked so hard to let go? Bullshit. Bullshit. That's exactly where you should push through the discomfort and trust that it will get easier, much faster, if you just be yourself in those situations. It's actually going to be much harder if you resist. Why would you want to sit in that discomfort every time? No, if you just be yourself in those moments, it might be uncomfortable the first time, the second time, maybe even the third time. But you'll soon see that these people will begin to accept you for who you are if you just consistently be that. They will have no choice but to accept you because you accept you. And because you're not hiding the new you and you're communicating this new you. Yet, that's not going to happen if you continue to hide it. They're going to make assumptions they're not going to understand. So what do you choose? What do you choose? You know, it seems really clear to me what the right choice is. If there's a new you that you've been working on, if there's somebody that you're really desiring to be that. Be those things authentically around everyone, not just around some people. And on the other side of it, I will end with a different angle to this all. If you are the person on the other end, if there's someone in your life who's really working hard to make changes within themselves, the best way to support them is to allow them that space to grow and shift and change, because the only constant in life is change. So in relationship, this is the biggest gift that we can offer, is this space for each other to shift and grow, because all we want for ourselves and for each other is to continue to be a better version of ourselves each moment, each day. If we hold each other to some expectations or to somebody, we were yesterday, then we are contributing to the inhibition of that person's growth, of our growth as one unit. So the best thing you can do is, and do your best. It can be hard because we're all human and we're all on this journey together. But we should just try our best to provide a safe space, a comfortable space for ourselves and for those around us to grow and shift and change. And hey, whether their future involves you or not, that's beside the point. That's besides the point. We don't want to make somebody uncomfortable. There's the classic in relationship when somebody says, I really need to do this thing for me. And this thing that I need to do to be a better person requires me leaving this relationship. Because I can't be in this relationship and do that. This is just what I need to do. Like maybe I need to travel to another country, or I need to just be single for a while because I need to be in my own space. Or maybe I decided I want to be a monk, and the type of monk that, completely cuts themselves off sexually. I don't know. Whatever the thing is. The point is that we should support each other's growth, whether or not that involves a future with us in it. Whatever the change is, if you can really put your emotions aside and see that this individual, this being is doing this for the highest good, it's really coming from their heart, do your best to support that. Be honest with how it makes you feel. If it makes you feel angry or sad, don't hold those things in. You can communicate that in a way that's still respectful and appropriate. For example, I understand that you need to go and do this thing, to better yourself. I support you in that. I truly support you in that. It still makes me very sad to see you go. And I love you. They're two separate things. You can be sad, you can be mad, you can be all these things. But you can't be a dick, okay? You can't. It's not, you can, but it would suck for you and for the other person. It would just ruin the relationship and everybody would just feel horrible. That's not what you want. That's not what anybody wants. So again, you can feel what you feel and still be respectful of that person's desire and need for growth and change. It's often going to be uncomfortable when we're growing out of our shells. We don't fit anymore. It's uncomfortable. You need to break free, right? And so, again, the best thing we can do is provide a safe and comfortable space for that person to grow. Do you think somebody's going to want to tell you about their changes, inner or outer, if they don't feel your support? If you're like, look, if you really I know you're wanting to be with other people, just tell me. I can feel it. This is a classic example, just tell me, I can feel it, you're attracted to other people, just tell me, regardless of your words, if you're holding a negative energy for that person, if you're holding an unsupportive energy for that person, they're going to see it, they're going to feel it on some level, whether you deny it consciously or not, they're going to feel it, they're going to feel the truth, and they are not going to say, you know what, sweetie, Yes, you're right, I have been. No, because they expect you to bark at them immediately. They don't feel comfortable. They don't feel safe telling you the truth. And if what you really want genuinely is the truth, then doesn't it make sense that you'd want to provide that safe and comfortable space for that person to open up? If you want lies, then yeah, be a jerk. Create a really uncomfortable space. Watch how that person's going to lie through their teeth. Or what's worse, maybe not even say anything. Maybe just turn away and walk away for good and never even look back. No communication at all. And that hurts. And that's cold and that sucks. But we ask for it. So if you want somebody to be open with you, if you want somebody to, be vulnerable in your presence and open up about things that they're probably going to be really uncomfortable with because it's really new to even them, then it would be wise to sit with that, meditate on that, and think, what are the ways in which I can support this person feeling more comfortable and really opening up? How would I feel if I was in their shoes? What would I want to hear? What would I want to feel to make me feel safe enough to open up about my deepest thoughts and about some shifts that I'm going through that are huge and really new to me, And some things that you can do when somebody's in that space, if you really want them to open up to you and feel comfortable being vulnerable, some things that you can do are, first of all, choose an appropriate time to talk, to ask, to bring these things up. Don't do it right after an argument. Don't do it when the tension is thick in the air. That's already a shitty space to begin to connect and become vulnerable. Do not choose to have that type of a conversation in an already uncomfortable environment. When you're already super triggered, when the defenses are up, when you're angry at each other, you just hate each other and you want to run away. It's not the best time to ask, what's wrong with you? Why are you behaving this way? What are all these changes you're making? I don't even know you anymore. No. First of all, if you love this person and you're really wanting to know, you will put in the time and effort to get to that comfortable place to even bring these things up and talk. So you want the right environment, first of all. You want the right energy, the right setting. So if you're really wanting to know what's up, maybe you can take that person out for dinner. Maybe you can go for a walk. Maybe you can do a meditation together. Maybe you can do a combination of those things. But have a good day of connection. Do something, Get into that space of feeling comfortable and relaxed. Relax. You don't want your body to be like this. I'm on defense. My body is reflecting my mind right now. My mind is very closed up. You want that person to relax. Get them a massage. Dang. I mean, you come home from that and then you're really in a space to connect. So, sweetie, now that you're all relaxed and I just got you that awesome massage, tell me more. Tell me. You know what I mean? But it's true. When they feel appreciated and when they feel loved, truly so, authentically so, not some bullshit like, hey, I bought you this nice ring, now tell me everything. No. When they feel your genuine love, when they feel you coming from a place of really caring about them, yeah, then they're going to want to share with you a little more. Then they're going to feel good about sharing with you. It's not going to be like pulling teeth. They're going to say, hey, you know what? This person really cares about my well-being, and their intention is not to just find out, what's going on for themselves or for some selfish purpose. Like, they really want to know what's going on with me. They feel you caring about them and their well-being. So these are some things that you want to consider when when your intention is to provide a safe space for someone to open up about maybe something they've been uncomfortable to share. Create the space. Hold the space. Don't do it at an inappropriate time. Really sit with it and think, how can I best support this person to feel comfortable to open up? I think that a big factor in that is patience, because sometimes, we get so frustrated and we just want to know, what is going on? I just want answers. I'm feeling so uncomfortable. What have you been hiding from me? I just need to know. And then, when we're in this space of impatience and frustration, we don't think clearly. We're expending some of our energy on this negative feeling, whatever it is, rather than giving all of our energy to the solution. rather than giving our energy to just being patient. Patient enough to think about what is the best way truly that I can go about doing this? What's going to be the most efficient way, the most sustainable way for me to go about this communication? When you really think it out, it does require patience. You can't just ask right then and there, unless for some reason that's the perfect moment, then go for it, But oftentimes it requires us to just wait and sit with it and feel out the right moment, create the right moment. Give it your effort. If you really love this person, which I'm sure you do, but sometimes we don't even remember our love for this person when we've gotten to this point, and we forget that that's the driving force behind all things. We forget that the love is the whole reason we're so frustrated. The love is the reason that we care so much, because if you didn't love this person, you wouldn't be so upset. You wouldn't. So remember why you're even so angry in the first place, because you care. You love this person. I suggest you just stop right there and sit with that love for a while. Think about that. Go deep with that. Remember all those feelings of love for that person, memories, pictures. Write something down, draw a picture, journal about it. Send that person that love too in that moment, because the more love you send now, by the time that moment comes, all this will have added to that ambiance. All of this will have added to the energy of that future setting where that person will open up to you. So send the love to them right now. Feel that love and send that love to them. Remember, you are upset because you care. And then, from there, you can formulate a plan. You can formulate the plan to create the setting to help that person open up to you, to be supportive of that person's communication, open communication. I felt really passionate about that because it's something that we all face all the time. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear about situations where maybe you've, been on one end or the other, having to provide a comfortable space for someone to open up, where maybe you were super triggered, maybe you wanted, maybe your little brother or sister or someone you really loved betrayed you or went behind your back. Maybe a friend went behind your back, best friend. Maybe you feel your lover was cheating on you, or you feel that, somebody's hiding something, like, especially with our family and friends, where we have these cords. It's the scariest, really, to open up about these things. So whether you've been on one side or the other, maybe share an experience with me. What are some tips? Maybe you can comment on this video, and whoever is watching, maybe they're looking for some advice. Maybe they're looking for some different angles of how to approach the situation, whether you're on one end or the other. And I love to see the many angles. That's why I'm here. I'm sharing my angle, so won't you share yours with me, so that together we can create a more expanded perspective, so that together we can put together more pieces of the puzzle, see more of the picture. So yeah, this is a very relatable topic. Any thoughts around it, please do share. I'm going to pull an oracle card in a minute here, so I'm going to go get that ready. I really appreciate whoever watched any part of this or all of this. You rock. I appreciate you. And if you missed the beginning of this video, I'd love to just give you a really quick view again to close. This is the view out my window here. It's gorgeous, just like you. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in. May we all continue to provide a safe and loving and comfortable space for us to be vulnerable, to open up, to communicate, to shift, to grow, to change, because that is the only constant in life, is change. We should not hold each other to who we were yesterday. Change is good. Don't be ashamed of it either. Own it. Own it. Again, if your intentions are pure, if it's coming from your heart, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. See you in a moment for the Daily Oracle.